It's a hot Saturday night in Southern California. Welcome to USC. Pac-12 football straight ahead as Cody Kessler and the USC Trojans look to go to 2-0 as they take on the Vandals from the University of Idaho. Pac-12 football presented by Tire Pros. Welcome to the LA Coliseum. USC, the number 8 ranked Trojans, hosting Idaho. It's game 2 of the season for the USC Trojans and Steve Sarkisian. Along with longtime NFL offensive lineman, former Arizona standout Glenn Parker, Roxy Bernstein with you. And you were here last week for USC, their opening win against Arkansas State. What did you learn about the Trojans last week?
Full of talent. This team has got talent offensively and defensively. They're working on depth. Little issues that can only come by playing full-time. That'll get there.
Well, Cody Kessler, 4 touchdowns, no picks in week 1. And last week he was on display, Glenn. He was able to make all the throws.
Yeah, he really showed good efficiency from the backfield and short-range throws. Getting beyond the linebackers, that second level was very good. The deep ball needs improvement, but a lot of that was because the fashion in which they threw it. Look today for them to do a little more play-action pass, get guys deep that way. They'll be running open for him.
Not only is Kessler one of the top quarterbacks in college football, Glenn, he has so many weapons at his disposal.
Oh, it starts with Trey Madden in the backfield and the patience. Right here's a very simple thing. You get Pinner moving. That's your fullback, your lead back. That creates 2 gaps for the defense to cover. Watch Trey Madden. One guy to beat. He makes him miss. Now it's that field vision, and then it's the speed to get going. This guy is dynamic. He reminds me so much of some players that I played with, most notably Marcus Allen with his vision and the way he keeps his feet. Then there's Juju Smith-Schuster, a wide receiver that possesses not only speed, but that size. Watch him here. Simple dig route. Kessler does a great job of throwing him open, but then it's the ability to run after the catch, use his speed, but then his upper body strength to separate and get going. That type of dynamic playmaking is what USC just has in depth across the board. Kessler can use them all.
So USC looking to go to 2-0 against Idaho, who lost in week 1 to Ohio U in Moscow. The USC Trojans at home taking on Idaho. We'll kick it next from Los Angeles. Getting set for kickoff at the LA Coliseum, USC and Idaho. Glad you're with us on Pac-12 Networks. Let's send it to the sidelines and welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, and here is Jill Savage.
Hey, Roxy. Well, the talk around town this week has been about those 13 true freshmen. Head coach Steve Sarkisian said that in each of his 3 true freshman running backs, he got to see something different. Ronald Jones is the home run threat. Said where he's their hard-nosed rusher. And Dominic Davis, well, he can run and catch it out of the backfield. Sark loves how they're able to show their different personalities. And he said he loved how Cam Smith and O.C. Messina were able to cut it loose already in just week 1. All in all, the Trojan freshmen accounted for over a third of the offense, the tackles, and the scoring in week 1. Last week, Cam Smith started at middle linebacker. He will do so again today, but he's just a true freshman. I asked Sark if Smith understands what that position has meant to USC throughout the years, and Sarkisian said that I don't think that Smith or really any of the other true freshmen understand what they're doing out there right now in the bigger picture, but that will come with time, he said. So for now, Sarkisian's okay with just taking all of the big plays that come from this very young group. Roxy?
Yeah, Jill, you mentioned 13 freshmen that played for USC and Steve Sarkisian last week, the most in the conference. And Glenn, is that a sign that USC is starting to get more depth and they're getting back to where they were before the probation?
It's a sign they were comfortable enough in their lead over Arkansas State to play a lot of true freshmen. But it is good news for this program.
So USC, a 55-6 win last week. Adoree Jackson back to return. There was some question surrounding Jackson after he was bothered by an abdominal strain on a punt return in the first quarter last week. He's good to go, and he's back along with Christian Tober to return. Austin Rico will kick it off for Idaho. The Vandals losing at home to Ohio U last week, 45-28. And a good kick from Rico, and Jackson lets it sail through the end zone. It'll come out to the 25 for the USC offense. Here's tonight's Keys to the game brought to you by La Quinta.
For Idaho Vandals, they've got to keep their offense on the field by dominating the clock and keep USC's offense off the field. The Trojans get fast, start fast, get that youth in the game, maintain your depth, and stay healthy. So if they can get some points on the board quick, get them down, they can put all those youngsters in like we just talked about, stay healthy, and start building better quality depth in their team.
Stephen Mitchell Jr. along with Darius Rogers in a receiver. Trey Madden, the running back, behind the senior from Bakersfield, Cody Kessler. On first down, the handoff, and it's Madden through the line. And he gets out to the 30, a pickup of 5. Quinton Bradley on the tackle. Probably the best defender on this Idaho football team.
Probably, and if I'm looking at this offense right now, I think the first deep shot you'll probably see is probably off of play action.
Kessler in shotgun. Last week, 4 touchdowns. Throws, and it's caught. First down, USC. Spinning. And getting out near midfield is Juju Smith-Schuster. Russell Siavi on the tackle for Idaho.
He's the receiver on the outside. Look at a huge cushion. If you're going to play USC, particularly a guy of Juju Smith's size, you're going to have to get a little closer. They were conceding the first at that point, not wanting to get beat deep.
Kessler, the quick hit. Another first down. Juju Smith-Schuster into Idaho territory. We welcome those of you just joining us to the LA Coliseum. We just saw Cal knock off San Diego State, along with Glenn Parker and Jill Savage and our great Pac-12 Networks crew. Roxy Bernstein with you on a hot night in Southern California and unseasonably humid. Here's a handoff, trying to get to the outside, and Trey Madden just shy of the 30-yard line. Jayshon Jordan on the tackle for Idaho. 88 degrees, the humidity up around 50% here in LA tonight.
Oh, well, it's 100% at my neckline right now, I'll tell you that. The thing I love about Trey Madden is the fact that he's so patient. He waits for blocks, he watches developments, he's got eyes down the field. Love the way that young man runs.
Second down and short, SC 31, empty backfield for Kessler. On the swing pass, it goes to Dory Jackson, and Jackson run out of bounds. Another Trojans first down inside the 20. He's out at the 19.
If you're a USC fan, you love seeing a Dory Jackson get involved. Coach Sark told us they want to get him involved early, both offensively and on defense. He didn't have a lot of snaps last week. You see his elusiveness right there, why he's so explosive in return game. That guy is a home run threat every time he touches the ball.
Justin did play last week for the Trojans in at running back. And the junior from Stockton on the carry in a big hole. Davis to the outside. Justin Davis spins just shy of the goal line. His first carry of the season, didn't play because of nagging rib and hamstring issues dealing with last week. Probably could have played against Arkansas State, but the Trojans held him out in a big game.
Saw great speed out of him. Blocking wasn't there, so he made sure he got the defenders in before now he gets to pay it off with the score.
11th career touchdown run for Justin Davis, and USC in just over 2 minutes marches down the field, and the Trojans could go 7 plays, 75 yards, and they're on the board.
Well, most of that drive, not only due to better ability, but the offensive line, you see them all right there. They won every battle along the line of scrimmage, every play of that drive.
Alex Wood on for the extra point. Connor Sullivan is the... And Wood, who was 7 of 8 last week on his point afters, hits his first today. Early strike for the Trojans and Justin Davis. Here's a drive summary brought to you by 76 and an efficient 7 plays, 75 yards. Glenn, they used up 2 minutes and 8 seconds. And Justin Davis, the 2-yard touchdown run.
Just a great, efficient drive, using short passes, lead runs, letting your big guys work. That's exactly the way you want to start the game if you're a Trojan fan.
Alex Wood with the kickoff. And back to return is Jayshon Jordan for Idaho from the 4. And Jordan across the 20, and he's brought down shy of the 25-yard line by Matt Lopes.
Well, you take a look at that last drive. Starts off, they do a few things. Beautiful little pass out to Juju Smith-Schuster, showing that upper body strength. Look at the pass protection. Nobody's going to touch him. Again out to Juju Smith-Schuster, and he gets those yards after. Look at the patience Trey Madden shows. Able to just stop, start, get to his open space and see vision. And then, of course, the finishing touch by Dominic Davis to get into that score.
Matt
Or
Lenahan.
by Justin Davis, pardon me.
Matt Lenahan, the sophomore quarterback for Idaho, 6'3", 215 pounds. Elijah Penny is running back, but Lenahan, whose dad, Scott, former Idaho quarterback himself, now the offensive coordinator with the Dallas Cowboys. And a former head coach in the NFL, is a short gain.
Look for Idaho they're going to really try to slow things down a bit. They're going to throw the ball quite a bit. You're looking for the short passes out of the backfield. Get the ball into the hands of your running backs, your wide receivers for the quick 5-yard gains. Anything to keep the chains moving.
Paul Petrino in his third season as the Idaho head coach. Former Idaho assistant, brother of Bobby Petrino, the Louisville head coach. Elijah Penny, the running back, on 2nd and 8 for the Vandals. And Penny tried to go off the left side. End of a couple.
Now you're buying yourself a chewy steak if you're trying to run the ball against USC in the Coliseum right now if you're Idaho. That's just the way it's going to be. They're gonna have to figure some things out. So look for play action or things in the subsequent drives. Now they face a long third.
Delbon Simmons, the tackle, 3rd down and 6 for Idaho at the 28. And the Vandals playing without their top receiver today. He is in uniform but will not play. Desmond Epps, who led the country with 15 catches last week in week 1 against Ohio. Matt Lenahan on 3rd down. And it's incomplete out of the backfield, looking for Elijah Penny. Going to bring up 4th down and the punting unit on it. Austin Rico, just one of 5 guys to handle both the kicking and punting duties for their teams in college football. Austin Rico averaging over 47 yards a punt for his career, the junior from Spokane. Adoree Jackson back to return for the Trojans. Rico with a good kick. Jackson gets hit immediately and dropped, racing down the field. Outstanding job by Kalen Hightower for Idaho to get down the field and tackle Jackson immediately after a beautiful punt from Rico. Here's tonight's perfect combination presented by Reese's.
Perfect combination. Trey Madden running the ball, using his patience. That's going to open up that play action game for Juju Smith-Schuster on the outside. Watch for that all night long. And now on that return, I'm not sure he gave him a full halo to catch that ball.
He was on him instantly. Cody Kessler, 3 of 3 for 43 yards on the first drive. Bunch formation to the right for USC. Idaho defense last week gave up nearly 500 yards to Ohio. The outside, it goes to Smith-Schuster. And that's a 1st down.
You see how strong Smith-Schuster is, but here's this punt return. Adoree Jackson out here. Does he get there? He gets there before the ball actually gets there. To me, now he does stay to the side, but he doesn't give him a chance to cleanly field that. I would love to know the interpretation of the rule there.
1st and 10 USC at the 33. Kessler swings it out. Jaleel Pinner, the fullback, and he gets out across the 40-yard line. Last week, Adoree Jackson in the first quarter of the ball game against Arkansas State. This was when he tried to hurdle on a kickoff return.
Yeah, it came down pretty hard. You look at that. He's willing to throw his body around.
Spinning for a 1st down. And the carry by Trey Madden, the senior from Aliso Viejo.
You know, fans love the run where you saw like Justin Davis take off around the side and get 12 yards before being touched. Football guys love that run right there. Following a blocker, finding his gap, breaking a tackle, and getting an extra couple yards.
And move the sticks. 1st and 10 USC at the Trojans 47. Trey Madden gets out to midfield before he's taken down by Mark Millan on the play. Millan led Idaho last week. 7 tackles. Leading tackler for the Vandals each of the last 2 seasons.
Well, right now USC's using their offensive line in the run game simply to match up and mash people, get them back a few yards, and let your running backs choose their gap and go. There's no lead block at this point.
Justin Davis back in at running back on 2nd and 7. Here's the give to Davis. Tries to cut it back in. And he breaks through. Justin Davis racing down the field. He's inside the 10. Will be first and goal, Trojans. 43 yards in that run by Justin Davis, who just went over 1,000 yards for his USC career.
Well, here goes Stretch. He's got a mark he's trying to get to. He gets there, and he understands that the linebacker's gone too far. Put your leg in the ground, make one cut, and get going. It's a beautiful job. There's the cut. Then he just uses his vision farther downfield.
Davis on first and goal. Into the end zone. Touchdown, USC. Second score for Justin Davis. And a couple of strikes already from USC here in the first 5+ minutes.
Here we get another look. Again, run the stretch. Great blocking on the edge. See, great job, Connor Spears, tight end, keeping his hands inside. Doesn't call it why. His hands are inside. Does a nice job. Once he gets that edge set, now you allow Davis to pick and choose, and that's how they get in the end zone.
Alex Wood for the extra point. And it's 14-0 USC. The Trojans dominating early at home against Idaho. Justin Davis with his second rushing touchdown. 14-0 USC leads Idaho. Pac-12 football presented by Tire Pros. Alex Wood getting set to kick it off, and the Trojan fans enjoying this on a very warm and a southeast field tonight here at the LA Coliseum.
Yeah, you could call this a swampy feeling, no doubt about it.
Jayshon Jordan back to return with Elijah Penny. And here is Jayshon Jordan to bring it out. And Jordan fumbled the football out of bounds. It'll stay with Idaho, but nearly disaster there as Leon McQuay hustling down for USC. Let's go back to the last drive, Glenn. What'd you see?
You know, just talking about great play. When you watch this, it's back blocks, right? Get down, you're going to get, and then watch this pull to seal. It's not one of these big-time runs, but it's for a first down, and watch the patience of Trey Madden. Following his guard, then he gets hit, and he gets an extra couple yards. That's a 6-7 yard gain that goes in the books as 6 or 7 yards, and it's worth so much more because it's dominance on your offensive line, and it's your running back running exactly where he's supposed to go.
Empty backfield for Matt Linehan. And Idaho, after USC went 6 plays, 78 yards for the touchdown. Over the middle, it's caught. And Idaho close to a first down to Jacob Sannon, junior from Florida. Osa Messina on the tackle for the Trojans.
You know, Coach Petrino said something to us when we talked with him, and I love, he said, hey, for us, it's can we show toughness and passion with effort and execution on every play? That's what he'll consider winning football for this team today.
Second and short. And they had the handoff, and it goes to Elijah Penny, and he appears to have the first down. Delvon Simmons on the tackle for the Trojans. This Idaho team, now they were able to move the ball last week against Ohio.
One thing you're going to see out of them, and let's face it, when you're Idaho, you're not going to match up physically with USC. You can't. That's how you lose ball games. But you can match up emotionally and with your work rate. If they can do that, they can get some things going.
First down from the Vandals, 29. Linehan under pressure, and he just throws it away as Porter Gustin, the freshman linebacker, in the face of Matt Linehan at second down.
One of the things that Coach Sark told us in the meetings, they want Porter Gustin to just let it go. You're a pass rusher. Just get after it. Be more aggressive. Early on, we see exactly what he was asking of his young linebacker.
Empty backfield on second down. Slings it out to Elijah Penny. And he's tripped up immediately. John Plattenberg to safety. And that's a loss for Idaho to bring up third down and about 12 for the Vandals.
The only way the Vandals stay in this is to get ahead on first down, to get ahead of the chains, make USC have to react. And right now, USC's defense is dictating everything to them. Coach Petrino's in for a long day if this continues.
Linehan last week against Idaho was 36. most completions in the country in week 1, but he threw 2 picks. 3rd and 12, Trojans show blitz, here they come. And the drop play to Elijah Penny up the middle. Penalty marker is down. As Penny rambles near a first down, Porter Gustin on the tackle.
Number 58 has to leave the game because his helmet came off.
So Osa Messina must sit out this play, but there is a flag as well.
Thrown where it's usually holding or hands to the face. One of the 2 that come in from where that flag was. Usually pointing at one of the big fellas. Well, they're going to get a chop block. So chop block.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Offense number 45. 15-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
Back Jake Manley for the illegal chop block.
So what this is depending on where he lines up, he can't come back into the formation and block below the waist. And that's what they saw and what they called. Take a look, he'll be on the left side of your screen here, right out here. He's gonna come in. Because he's closed the legs, that's illegal.
Forces a 3rd and 26. Oh, back at their 14-yard line. Empty backfield on 3rd and forever for the Vandals. Linehan underneath, fires it to Jacob Sannon. Weaves his way out across the 20-yard line before he's tackled. Cameron Smith, the freshman linebacker, on the stop, and that'll force 4th down and the punting unit on for Idaho. Enrico with a 50-yard punt. His first attempt today. A guy who figures to be very busy today.
Yeah, he's going to punt a lot or they're going to be going for 4th downs.
Enrico again, this one a shorter wobbly boot. And bounces and takes a Vandals bounce. There is a penalty marker down as Idaho downs it at the USC 36, but we will check the flag here. And it was thrown near the Idaho sideline. 39-yard punt, but the bounce certainly helped out Rico. So Idaho 0-1. Out of the Sun Belt Conference, odd twist for USC. It's the 2nd straight week they're playing a Sun Belt team. And Arkansas State favored to be among the teams contending for the Sun Belt Championship, the team USC handled last week.
During the kick, personal foul. Defense number 8, blocking a player that's out of bounds. This is a 15-yard penalty. 1st down, USC.
That's on the freshman Iman Marshall as USC. Good job. Penalties last week, only 4, but a costly one there.
I like his toughness and his grit. Incredible passer. He's very accurate, can throw on the run.
Not a lot of guys have a pocket presence like him.
He's dynamic. He fits in that offense perfectly, and he's just a really good kid.
Clearly, he's one of the top quarterbacks in our conference and probably in the country.
Well, Cody Kessler off to a good start. 5 of 5 at USC. Glenn dominating on the ground. And here's the play action pass for a short gain. And this is something you were expecting, that running game was going to set up a play like that. Although a short gain to Tyler Petit, the freshman tight end.
Their number 1 target was Juju Smith-Schuster on the edge. He was running a go route. It was well defended, so they come back under and take what is given.
The inside handoff, and Kessler takes his shot. And there's no gain on the play. First carry for Ronald Jones, the second, the freshman. Quinton Bradley on the tackle. 3rd and 5 for USC. This was an area they were just 3 of 10 last week in 3rd downs.
Yeah, they got to get better, and that's across the board, whether it be running backs, quarterback, offensive line. Nobody on the field did everything they could to get them there.
Split backs for Kessler. Here comes the pressure. Flushed out Kessler. Lobs it down the field, and it's incomplete. Tried to get that one to Stephen Mitchell Jr.
No.
And Kessler could have run there, Glenn.
He could have. And what fans will see is a guy coming free, but the coaches see they got everyone but one blocked, and he's the one they can't block. And so Kessler does a nice job, gets out of the contain. And you're right, he could have taken off and got some yards there, but he wants the big hit. He wants to go.
A 3 and out, and Chris Alvarado on to punt. Jordan Freisinger back to return the punt, who began his college career at Illinois. A couple of touchdown runs for Justin Davis and a 14-0 lead for the Trojans. Alvarado, who third year as the SC punter, gets it away, driving Freisinger back. And Freisinger calls for a fair catch inside the Idaho 20 as the Vandals get the football back. 5 games next week on Pac-12 Networks. It'll start Friday night from Sun Devil Stadium, New Mexico, against Todd Graham's Sun Devils. Then a quadruple header for you on Saturday. It starts at 11 a.m. Number 7 Oregon against Georgia State. The Huskies take on Utah State at 2. Then you'll either get at 5 San Jose State at Oregon State, or 5:30 Wyoming is in Pullman taking on Washington State. And the nightcap, you and I will be in the desert in Tucson for Northern Arizona against Rich Rod and the Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, Lobos going into Tempe. You know, everyone's a Lobo. That's what they say on campus down there.
Under pressure, Linehan incomplete. Under a heavy rush again, tried to get that one to Kalen Hightower. Kevon Seymour in coverage. Bring up second down.
A lot of pressure right into his throwing lane. Tough for him to come over the top and deliver that ball.
Sophomore Aaron Duckworth in at running back for Idaho. Matt Linehan just under 300 yards last week, 297.
It's time for them to get those running backs out of the backfield, get your slots going, get those 5 to 7 yard passes going so you can get some chains moving here. Give your defense a rest.
And Idaho's going to take timeout.
Idaho, this is the first charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So 5:16 left in the first quarter, 14-0 USC. And it is a timeout for Paul Petrino and the Idaho Vandals. While they take time, we'll send it down to the sidelines and to Jill Savage.
Well, hey, Roxy, before Justin Davis scored that second touchdown, you'll remember the ball came loose at the end of one of his runs. So Steve Sarkisian went over and first congratulated Justin for his second touchdown of the day, but then said, hey, you have to keep that ball high and tight. It happened once. We got away with it, but we can't let that happen again. So some constructive criticism from the coach down here on the sidelines.
An efficient run game as Davis, that long run, yeah, the ball did come free, but luckily it was caused by the ground, which of course cannot cause a fumble.
Not in the college ranks.
No. 2nd and 10, Matt Linehan. And here's a drop play. Making his way out to the 25, penalty marker down as Aaron Duckworth.
They change their cadence. They get a guy off sides. That's your 5 yard gain. So now you're helping yourself. You're going to face 2nd and 5. Got to be smart.
Offside, defense, number 52, in the neutral zone at the snap. 5 yard penalty, 2nd down.
Delvon Simmons offside.
Yeah, so what that does, they call a timeout, they come back, defenders are chomping at the bit, you go an extended cadence, a little long count. So not only, it's really a way of, it's getting a 5 yard gain from the last play you really didn't earn. And now you're in a much better position.
2nd down 5, and for this Idaho offense, playing minus Desmond Epps today, how much does that hurt Matt Linehan and this offense? As Epps had 15 catches last week.
Yeah, he's your playmaker, and it's the best team you're going to see all year. You need him in.
And Linehan too high. Incomplete, tried to get it to Deion Watson. And it's 3rd and 5 for Idaho. And now officially for Epps today, it's a coach's decision why he's not playing. He is in uniform, he is on the sidelines, but will not play. Now if you read the newspapers that cover the Idaho football team, Epps was involved in an incident on campus. And there's a number of players that were allegedly involved, and it was written about. And that's why Epps is not available today. 3rd down and 5. Linehan underneath, and it's incomplete. Tried to get it to Elijah Penny. Again, a heavy rush from USC.
Linehan does not have a strong enough arm to be backing away, making throws. Too many times we've yet to see a very accurate throw. I mean, he's had guys open, and he hasn't put it on him. Right here, he's backing away. This ball isn't even close. Now, he's got a guy right in his face, but he's got to try to deliver that ball. It's going to be a long day if he doesn't start putting it on guys that are open when he has that chance.
Third punt for Rico, standing back at the Idaho 10. And Adoree Jackson, the return man inside the SC 35. Rico with a short kick off the side of his foot. And it's out of bounds near midfield, and a terrible punt for Idaho gives USC outstanding field position after a 25-yard kick. As we take a look around the Pac-12 from week 2.
Well, you look at what Utah did. 2 rushers, 192 yards, well, actually 3 counting Kendall Thompson, the quarterback. The Buffaloes just took it to UMass. 385 yards rushing and 5 TDs. That's dominant play. Washington gets back. They get after a Sacramento State team and get themselves a nice win. That's got to feel good for them. And, of course, your Cal Bears, Jared Goff, start off a little slow. Defense for San Diego State, Rocky Long, they did a nice job, but then they start pouring it on.
Another 300-yard passing game for Goff. And how about Washington State going on the road, winning at Rutgers today?
A big win for them.
Cody Kessler going big. Touchdown, USC. Juju Smith-Schuster. 50 yards for the strike from Kessler to Smith-Schuster.
Well, just move your pocket a little bit, get the defense moving. Smith-Schuster, too much for him, speed-wise, and into that open middle of the field. And what a strike by Cody Kessler. The play-action pass was going to come back to haunt them eventually, and they went to it there nicely for that score.
You were calling for it, Glenn, and there it was, the big play on the play-action.
When you've got dynamic running backs, everything's been thrown underneath. If you have not taken a shot, you know it's coming. As a safety, you've got to have your eyes in the right place. As a DB, you've got to trust yourself and stay in coverage. And USC just exploited a weakness in their defense.
Alex Wood, 3 for 3, nails the extra point.
Well, this is real simple. We got him. That's our big jump thing. But right up there, Smith-Schuster, just come up and run that route. We're gonna fake the run. There it is. Simple stuff. Safety bites on the over route, which is underneath, leaving that deep pass wide open for Juju Smith-Schuster. And there he is. And that's too much speed, too much size, and way too much open ground to leave for that guy out there.
61-yarder last week. That was a 50-yarder from Kessler. And Cody Kessler now 7 of 8 through the air. And Juju Smith-Schuster, the sophomore from Long Beach Poly, his 7th career touchdown catch. And it's all USC, and we still have 4:16 to go in this first quarter. USC was a balanced scoring attack last week. They got 2 touchdowns in each quarter last week. They already have 3 in the first quarter tonight.
As we said right at the top, USC wants to come out, score fast, get a lot of young guys in the game, develop some depth, and keep everyone healthy.
From the 4, Jayshon Jordan on the return. Rather, that's Elijah Penny bringing it out. And he's across the 20-yard line. This was before the game, and USC came into the Coliseum a couple of hours before, and there is Juju Smith-Schuster with a backpack my son would love.
The Minion.
The Minion.
Right? Don't ask me how I know that, but I know that.
Juju Smith-Schuster not only having fun before the game, but during the game with that 50-yard touchdown catch.
Well, he's dynamic. You know, he's a guy that they're giving him all sorts of ground. They're giving him cushion, so he's taking it underneath, and that's what's there. Only twice has he run real deep routes. One was covered well, and that last one was not.
Linehan goes under center now, an I formation look from Idaho. And here's the handoff to Elijah Penny. He's out across the 25. He gets 5, and Osa Messina on the tackle for USC.
That's a little old school football, I formation. A tight end in the game, line up, smash a little, and get some yards. That's what Petrino, that's what this Idaho Vandal team has to do. Bring in personnel groups, change your formations, change the launch point of the quarterback, get something going and stay ahead of the chains just a little bit.
Also Rasheem Green on that last tackle. Second down, Linehan has to unload, and it's incomplete. Pressure coming up the middle. Pass intended for Jacob Sannon.
And that's the first time we've seen arm strength out of Linehan. He fired and delivered that ball. Still comes up a bit short. Almost gets picked. The receiver does a nice job trying to get to that ball. Bounces up. Linehan has to be a little more accurate, but he's getting there. Maybe he had a little nerves going first. That can happen. Now, hey, you're down 21. You got nothing to lose. Doesn't matter how bad it gets from here out. The game's going to be out of hand if you don't get something going. So you gotta start helping your team a bit.
3rd down 5 for Idaho. Going at 3rd and 6. Long fly. Linehan over the middle. It's caught by the tight end Buck Cowan, and a 1st down for the Vandals out to the 35-yard line.
There's a nice throw by Linehan. Finding Buck Cowan. See his eyes. Linehan's checking around. He knows what he wants. He's got his eyes out there. That was a nice job of keeping his helmet pointed one way while his eyes were tracking and finding Cowan coming across the middle.
1st down give. Elijah Penny to the outside. He gets a couple of yards.
So you've seen you saw I-back attack straight up. You saw a wide throw. Then you saw it over the top throw right in the middle. And now we come out to a wide run. They're starting to mix things up offensively, trying to get some things going. Find some sort of rhythm.
2nd down 8. Matt Linehan of this Idaho offense. Steps up. Linehan's going to run. And he dives close to a 1st down. It'll be about a yard shy. Let's check in our Pac-12 Network studios with Mike Yam.
All right, Roxy, time now for a Trans-America game break. Royce Freeman getting the Ducks on the board in the early goings. He had 3 touchdowns in last week's game. 7-7 the count. Sparty just missed a 28-yard field goal, but Vernon Adams just threw an interception, guys, so we are knotted at 7 apiece.
3rd down and 1 for Idaho at the 44. 21-0 Trojans. Linehan takes a shot down the field. Penalty markers down, pass intended for Dion Watson. As Marvell Tell III there in coverage may be called for pass interference.
Linehan a little woozy or shaking or whatever when he got up, but I'll tell you what, he put that ball right where that back shoulder fade has to be. That was a nice throw by Linehan.
Pass interference, defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
And that's why you make that throw. You make that throw to try to get the interference call. He gets it, but the ball's right where his guy can find it, or Dion Watson can turn around. He takes a shot here. It looks like it got right under his chin a little bit. You see the helmet pop up there.
Delvon Simmons, the one who lowered the boom on Linehan. But the 1st down via the penalty puts Idaho in USC territory for the first time. At the Trojans 41. Elijah Penny, the running back. Linehan, the inside screen. Kalen Hightower weaves his way down the field. Hightower inside the 15-yard line. Tripped up by Matt Lopes. 30 yards from Linehan to Hightower. And Idaho in business.
The old tunnel screen. Take a look at your center, number 61. He's going to get out here. Get a nice block. Boom, get a little leg. Springing. That's a nice job right there by Stephen Matlock, the center.
That's what happens when Matlock's on the case.
Oh, boy.
At the 11, 1st and 10.
Maybe too soon, Roxy.
The older demographic might have appreciated that comment. Here's the handoff to Elijah Penny inside the 10. And they're going to spot him at the 9 after a 2-yard gain.
There's no time for comments like that, okay?
Minute 15 to go in this first quarter, and Idaho ball club that had just 1 win last year. It was a win against New Mexico State in the middle of October. Paul Petrino in his 3rd year at the helm. There is a rich tradition for Idaho, but it's more at what was the 1AA level, which is now the football championship subdivision. And there is a timeout taken by the Vandals. It's their 2nd.
Timeout, Idaho. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Here are the Coors Light cold hard facts. And the Idaho Vandals here at SC. And what used to be the Pac-12, Pac-10, Pac-8, the Pacific Coast Conference from 1915 through 59. And then the Athletic Association of Western Universities briefly before it came the Pacific 8. But Idaho once was a member of what now is the Pac-12 and member of this conference, and they were 0-7 against USC while in the conference, 0-8 all time. They met in 2007 when the Trojans were number 1 in the country in the season opening game in a USC 38-10 workmanlike performance victory over the Vandals. That was a team that had John David Booty as the quarterback, Joe McKnight, Ray Maualuga, Brian Cushing on a team that went to the Rose Bowl for USC. 2nd and 8 from the 9. Penny is the running back. Hightower in motion. Linehan in protection. Underneath to Hightower. He's hit immediately by Kevon Seymour. 3rd down.
That's a better defensive play than most people know. You've got a guy running horizontally. It's tough to cover. That's why it comes open. It's tough to cover because he's got space. But to be able to close ground and make a tackle for almost no gain or actually a loss is outstanding speed. And then not only speed, but the hip and the suddenness to hit and drag him down for a loss. That's incredible. That's a great defensive play by Seymour.
The quick closing speed of Kevon Seymour, the senior from Pasadena. 3rd down, back of the 10. Linehan on the move. He'll try and run. Linehan. And he's upended going out of bounds inside the 5. At about the 3-yard line, Sua Cravens chopped him down. We've reached the end of the first, 21-0 USC.
I'll be a superhero. I won't let you down. I'll be a superhero.
Start of the 2nd quarter in LA with USC on top of Idaho by a score of 21-0. Along with Glenn Parker and Jill Savage, Roxy Bernstein with you. An impressive first quarter from USC. What'd you see from the Trojans?
Saw efficient offense, move the ball, take some short throws, know you're going to take your shots, run the ball well, block, tackle, and defense, shut them down. They've done everything that you'd want your team to do in this situation against this opponent.
On 4th and 2, Idaho will kick. A tough angle for Austin Rico. He was 2 of 2 on his field goals last week against Ohio. This is a 20-yarder. And from the right hash, Rico knocks it through, and Idaho is on the scoreboard. 20-yard field goal, and the Vandals get some points. On 4th and 2, they elect to settle for 3. And Paul Petrino's team gets some points up on the board. So 21-3 USC. Let's send it down to the sidelines, and here's Jill.
Hey, Roxy. Well, it's time to go beyond the hash marks. Junior free safety Liam McQuay is in the spotlight this week. McQuay is a music industry major. We spoke to him yesterday. He told us the music industry program is the reason why he's at USC. With LA being in the middle of the music scene, plus school and great football, it all added up for McQuay to move across the country. In our meeting, he was busting out his keyboards, playing us some beats. Now, he said they're not done. They're not done, so we couldn't really judge them. But that's what he was doing last Saturday as they were trying to kill time in the hotel before 8 o'clock kickoff last week. I asked him who his musical influences were. He said when he was younger, it was all 50 Cent. Now 50, of course, all of his stuff was produced by Dr. Dre, of whom he met earlier. He said it's like meeting one of your idols. He couldn't believe it. It's one of those only in LA moments, Roxy.
That's true. And he had us to thank, Jill, because that 8 o'clock kick last week, he had that extra time to work on some material in his room, and that smile from ear to ear, it lit up the room yesterday. A pleasure to spend time with Leon McQuay as Rico kicks that out of bounds, and a penalty against Idaho after Rico was successful in the field goal drive. But Leon McQuay, also football in his background. His grandpa Leon was a running back in both the NFL and CFL.
Kicking team, the ball be placed at the 35-yard line. 1st down, USC.
It's the first time that Rico has ever done that. Kickoff out of bounds. The junior from Spokane gives SC the ball to 35. But interesting in talking to Leon McQuay, Glenn, yesterday, the first thing he said about what attracted him to USC was not the football. It was the music program and the education here at USC.
There are certain schools, certain programs that are a torch. That's where you want to go. They're a beacon for you, and that's obviously one. Like film school at USC is another.
Adoree Jackson takes a pass from Kessler and weaves his way for a Trojans first down shy of midfield. 12 yards to the sophomore Jackson.
Well, Adoree Jackson, coaches say he's a threat every time he touches the ball, and we see it. Just looking to avoid the hit and gets all the way through, then uses some speed, but he's got offensive linemen. Look, there's 3 offensive linemen. Big Max Turk leading the way down there.
SC already with 8 plays of 10 or more yards. Jackson again into Idaho territory. So Adoree Jackson to the Idaho 45, a gain of 8.
Going back to them saying they wanted to get him more plays, when you practice all year and you don't get many plays in that first game, you got to really feel like you're getting going. If you're going to have the type of campaign that you want out of this guy, you got to get him some more touches. That's what they felt they needed to do, and so far we've seen it.
Here is Juju Smith-Schuster in space. First down, Trojans. Inside the 35 goes Smith-Schuster.
Taylor McNamara, number 48, tight end out there, does a great job blocking for Smith-Schuster. And what you see is when you get those edge throws like that, it's a guy like that right there. McNamara's got his hands inside because he's right in front of the official. No flag is called. That breaks you loose for those 8-10 yard plays.
Here comes pressure. Kessler out to Juju Smith-Schuster. Another USC first down, pushed out around the 20. Boy, USC looks crisp, Glenn, and you go into this game with Idaho, and you're thinking, all right, Arkansas State week 1, Idaho week 2, with Stanford looming next week, then ASU. The mindset of USC is impressive tonight that they have that focus and crispness about them tonight.
Well, that's a credit to the coaching staff, getting them ready and coming up with a plan that allows your stars to shine a little bit.
Justin Davis, the spin move. And he's brought down inside the 15.
And they're forcing Idaho now, with the throws out like that, they're forcing Idaho's corners, safeties to get up, get tight. And then that's when that play action comes into play. They're forcing this defense to kind of bend to their will rather than being dictated to.
Second down, 5. Kessler now 11 of 12 for 166 yards. And the receiver falls down, appeared to get his feet tangled up. And that was incomplete, trying to get it to Daquan Hampton, the junior from Carson. Third down for USC at the Idaho 13. USC already with 260 yards of total offense. We're just 17 minutes into this game. Kessler, good protection. Will take off, and he lunges forward. He's about a yard or two shy of the first down. Kalen Ayers brought him down.
How about that protection? What you saw there, Idaho did a great job covering. But look at the protection. 3-man rush. That offensive line much maligned after that first half last week in which they gave up 2 of the 5 sacks. That's a great job. You say, well, they're only rushing 3. Well, that's why they were able to cover as well as they did.
4th and 2, SC will go. Trey Madden back in at running back. Now whistles and play is stopped. It appears Idaho wants a timeout.
Timeout, Idaho. This will be a
It's their final the first half, and we'll take it with them. 21-3 SC. USC, 12:15 to go second quarter, and the Trojans on 4th and 2 are going for it.
Look at these guys right here. That's where I'm running. I got Max Turk, I got Vianney Talamaivu, and I got Chuma Edoga. Talamaivu is 320 pounds, and he is low to the ground. I can get 2 yards running right there.
4th down, up the middle, and Trey Madden gets the first down for USC. 1st and goal for the Trojans. They're going quick tempo.
Everybody blocking to the right, crushes the entire side down. That's a great job. Trey Madden might have been able to cut left and get the score.
Madden toward the goal line. There's the signal, touchdown USC. 7-yard run for Trey Madden, his second of the season.
You look, right here is where this hole is going to open up. They block down. Chad Wheeler gets a great block, and Talamavu comes through on that pull. That's a great job. He's got a lead block by Jaleel Penner, his fullback. That's too much beef on the move for Idaho to stop. And of course, Madden does a great job following it.
So they will review to see if indeed it is a touchdown for Trey Madden. The ruling on the field is touchdown USC. A referee is Mark Duddy today. And they will go check with replay to see if indeed it is a touchdown.
Looks like the ball gets over before his arm hits the ground. That would be the trick, because I don't see his legs hitting the ground prior. So unless his forearm hits the ground before the ball gets over, because as you know, right, the forearm puts him down.
Yes.
The hand doesn't, but the forearm does. They've got the new system now with the split screens, everything. They can do this so fast now compared to what they could in years past.
Plus, of course, they're showing replays up on the board here at the LA Coliseum, so the on-field officials can take a look upstairs and see in the big giant video board off on the west side of the Coliseum.
I think that there's, considering the official on the far line, not this umpire, had a good view of it and called it a touchdown, I think this will stand. Whether it's confirmed or not, who knows, but it'll stand. As you can see right now, his arm is frozen on the ground, and they're looking up at the scoreboard.
And Madden, the senior, there he is diving. Also helped that he was on top of one of his offensive linemen there.
Sure. But the officials were looking up at the scoreboard, watching, and they were checking it out for a moment. Tell you what, when you've got a left tackle like Chad Wheeler, who showed such explosion there to crush a side, and big Talamavu coming around and Pinner going in, that's power football. It's what we like to talk about. It's what old school guys. It's when you talk, Stanford, you talk USC, you're talking Michigan. USC runs a lot of it, or excuse me, Ohio State runs a lot of it. It's putting your players in a position to dominate and then having them actually do it.
What position did you play?
Me, I was an offensive lineman.
See?
Hey, it all starts. You'll never find a coach, I don't care who he is, other than quite possibly Mike Leach, that'll tell you any different. That the game, no matter how much we've become a throwing sport, still starts with the run. It has to.
No question, it starts up front. The physicality set on both sides of the line.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field of a touchdown stands.
So it is a 7-yard run for Madden, as the Trojans get their 4th touchdown of this first half. And Alex Wood on for another extra point as Steve Sarkisian's offense already 273 yards. Total offense, they're averaging 10.5 yards per play so far tonight against Idaho. And Alex Wood is now 4 of 4 on his extra points. And the Hall of Champions on the SC campus, USC 28-3 over Idaho. USC rolling on Idaho 28-3, almost the middle of the second quarter from the LA Coliseum, along with Glenn Parker and Jill Savage. Our Pac-12 Networks crew, Roxy Bernstein with you, is Cody Kessler, and the Trojans offense goes back to work from their own 22-yard line. In motion goes Juju Smith-Schuster in the handoff, and tripped up is Ronald Jones. Maybe a short gain for Jones.
Ronald Jones is that home run hitter. He reminds you, he's got that, it's a burst and speed. He's not going to get touched. He's a one-cut runner. You'll see some big runs out of Ronald Jones in the coming season.
Freshman from McKinney, Texas, on 2nd and 10. Kessler for Juju Smith-Schuster. And he runs over the tackler and gets a first down as Jordan Grabsky. Also Dorian Clark out there for Idaho.
That's a career high in yards for Juju Smith-Schuster. This is what makes him so hard. You give him the cushion because of his speed, and then he runs you over because of his size and gets 4 more yards.
Career best in catches and receiving yards for Smith-Schuster, and another one for Juju Smith-Schuster. He's out across the 40-yard line. Juju Smith-Schuster legally changed his name over the summer, in case you're not familiar with the story. Last year was Juju Smith, but took on the name of his stepdad to honor his stepfather. That's why he's now Juju Smith-Schuster. And picking his way is Ronald Jones out across midfield. First down, USC.
Great job, Ronald Jones, getting through one block. There was penetration. He didn't let it get him off his mark. Makes a jump cut and can get himself going. Here's the jump cut right there. Now it's pure speed following some big fellas.
And here's the pass out to Jalen Green. And the redshirt freshman pushed out of bounds shy of the 40-yard line for USC. Second and 5, Trojans at the Idaho 42. Kessler steps up toward the sideline again. It's Jalen Green. And another USC first down as Green down to the Idaho 31.
What I like is I don't see any of the USC wide receivers looking for the sideline. Every one of them gets that ball and is turning upfield and looking inside, trying to get extra yards, not trying to avoid a hit.
And the wealth of depth and talent that is at the disposal of Steve Sarkisian, this USC offense. Jones up the middle, big hole for Ronald Jones. Penalty marker is down. Jones into the end zone, touchdown USC, but we'll need to check the flag. If it stands, 31-yard touchdown run by Jones.
Holding offense number 75. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
The center, Max Turk, called for holding.
Yeah, they're going to get him whenever you cut back. What'll happen? Here's a perfect view. Max Turk, hands are a little outside that. I doubt that's what they're calling him for, but it's right there when he tries to separate. That's a hold. It's easy to see. Because of that cutback, you're expecting the ball to go to your right shoulder. You're expecting it out there. You're blocking to that point. And when the ball breaks back, you don't see it because you're an offensive lineman. It's behind you. That defender stops. You grab a little cloth. Easy for the officials to see. Max is a better lineman than that.
He held junior nose tackle Glenn Antoine on 1st and 18. Kessler to Trey Madden. Madden down the sideline. Madden inside the 15.
Well, I'll tell you what. We just showed Max Turk on a hold inside. Now a screen. Take a look at number 75, the center. Get out in front on this screen along with Talamaivu. Both of them double team. They're blowing people out. We gave him some garlic. Give him some love on that one now.
A little motivated after the holding call as Trey Madden dances his way into the end zone. Touchdown USC. 10-yard run. Trey Madden's second rushing touchdown tonight.
You got an offensive line that's blocking well. Your tight ends are involved. That's a nice job by Tyler Petit. A tight end setting the edge. And Trey Madden, again, Trey Madden's so patient. He just waits. His patience is amazing. And that is one of the best attributes a young running back can ever seek to emulate. Stop worrying about making the burst and worry about letting plays develop. He does such a good job.
Alex Wood nails the extra point, 35-3 Trojans.
USC just doing a great job being efficient on offense, using their weapons, Trey Madden among them.
There's the center, Max Turk, the senior from Trabuco Canyon. Helps USC get into the end zone, a 9-yard run by Trey Madden. It's 35-3 Trojans, and you highlighted him with that great kick-out block on the little dump-off.
Yeah, on a screen, you got to get your center, your right guard out. They did a nice job. But, he's one of those guys. He's kind of the bell cow for a lot of for this offense. That whole offensive line generally is.
Glenn, let's go on spec while we have a moment.
That's right. Let's go on spec. Let's go Max Turk. Now, he's at the pivot spot. That's what that center is. He's dynamic. He's got suddenness. There's pop. He moves well in short space. He's fast. He's quick. More importantly, he's athletic. So he's kind of tall for a center, but that's all right because he does move so well in a small space. But that suddenness and that pop at the second level, like on that screen we talked about, that's where he really shines. He's very good in the pits, but it's out in space and moving around. That's where you see it. Saw him in the hallways yesterday. He's a lean-looking kid.
And he can move pretty well for an offensive lineman.
Most offensive linemen can move very well. That was a bad comparison on your point.
Jake Luton from the pocket, underneath. And it gets it to Deion Watson. And Watson close to a first down, should have enough out across the 35. Devon Marshall ran him out.
Idaho trying to pick up the pace now. They got to find some rhythm. I love the fact that they went for that field goal. You know, I think Vandal fans are like, oh, let's go for the touchdown. Hey, that shows confidence that you're going to come back. You got down there once, we're going to come back again.
6th first down for the Vandals. As Luton with the handoff and not much there. Jabari Ruffin quickly closes in for the Trojans. Ruffin missed last year with a knee injury. Made 4 tackles last week in the opener. No gain, 2nd down Idaho.
Yeah, I like them going back to a tight end, I formation, downhill runs. There's a lot you can do out of that. Running sprint runs against USC's speed is going to be an all-day sucker for you.
2nd and 10 for the Vandals from the 36. Inside 5 minutes to go in the first half. Jake Luton. And the out route incomplete for Watson. Marvell Tell there defensively for USC.
Didn't even look like Watson was expecting the ball. The ball was passing before he even looked back.
The pressure right in the face of Uchenna Nwosu. And that's why Luton had to get rid of it so quickly, and maybe why Watson wasn't expecting the ball as quickly as it got out there.
Yeah, quite possibly. Timing, you know, people underestimate it, how important it is to an offense.
3rd and 10, Idaho at the Vandals 36. Play clock rolling down on Luton. And a drop play and nothing there. USC stacks that up as Antoine Woods leads the charge. And it forces 4th down. Coming up, the State Farm halftime report. So stick around to the half. Mike Yam, Nigel Burton, Nick Aliotti. In our studios, the Ducks locked in a battle with Michigan State. Big victory on the road for Mike Leach in Washington State. Colorado runs to a win in Boulder over UMass.
It was an odd call. Again, a sprint run. It's 3rd and 10. Give yourself a chance to get to the sticks, or at least make it close, make it a decision to go for 4th down.
Low line drive kick from Austin Rico. Dory Jackson. And he gets tripped up as he crossed the 20-yard line after a 48-yard punt, 6-yard return. But Juju Smith-Schuster, Glenn, really having an impact in the first half.
Yeah, right off the bat, let's just do a 12-yard stop, and you see the cushion, the size. He's got so much speed, you got to respect it, and then the size to push his pile another 2-3 yards. Little play action, it's beautiful. Just, hey, let me give you a deep seam route. Throw him open, you're not going to tackle him at that spot. This guy's a special talent. He's going to show up all year for USC. Already 8 receptions, 139 yards. That's a career high for a game. That's great for him.
The sophomore from Long Beach, as Cody Kessler and his intended target falling down, it's incomplete. And it's 2nd down as trying to get that to Dominic Davis, the freshman running back.
2nd down.
Goes behind the line. Just the 3rd incompletion for Kessler, who is now 16 of 19. 2nd and 10 for the Trojans from the 21. Jaleel Pinner, the fullback, leading the way for Dominic Davis. And Davis through the line. Spins, 1st down Trojans. Out to the 33, a gain of 12.
That's a nice job. First by Pinner, the lead fullback. Watch the block he lays, and that allows this cut. Once the cut happens, he's got a big hole. Good job by the line, keeping everybody covered up. Good vision out there by Dominic Davis.
Had just one carry last week. Play action with Davis. And that ball is out to the fullback, and picking his way out near the 40 is Jaleel Pinner, the senior from Rancho Santa Margarita.
How many times do we see Jaleel Pinner in motion, level his body at somebody and spring somebody for yards? There you go. Now it's your turn. Get the ball in your hands. Let's see what you can do. Give him some love.
From the SC 41. Kessler, the give to Davis. And Davis out across midfield. First down, Trojans to the Idaho 49. 10 yards for Dominic Davis.
If you're an Idaho defender, you're looking and saying, is there going to be a running back on their roster that comes in that's not incredible? Every guy is making people miss, running through holes. One's as good as the next.
We haven't seen Cedric Ware yet. Here's the pitch. Adoree Jackson cuts his way against the grain. Jackson back toward the sideline with Kessler leading the way. Jackson still has the play alive. Adoree Jackson inside the 20. Somehow he manages to get 29 yards and another USC first down.
It took him about 80 yards to get it, but he got it. Here he is, he looks down, he's got vision to see everybody, take it across the grain. Now this guy's a sprinter of the highest order. Tough to bring down, tough to catch.
They're going to give him 30 to the 19, and now Cedric Ware is in at running back. And send Ware up the middle. Close to a first down, he's to the 11. But still marveling over that play by Adoree Jackson.
It's one of those playground plays, and very few people can pull one of those off at this level.
Wasn't quite Marcus Allen, but it was pretty darn good.
It was good. Tough to beat Marcus Allen.
Of course, that one coming in the Super Bowl. This is in week 2 of the 2015 season. Second down. Ware picks his way down to the 7-yard line. First and goal, Trojans. Just the depth at running back that his USC team has.
Yeah, now they bring Trey Madden back in.
Who's run for 2 touchdowns tonight. The embarrassment of riches for Steve Sarkisian. A late sub now for the Trojans.
Well, Jaleel Pinner ran out and had to run back on.
He's in motion. A lot of running for Pinner. Kessler in the play action. And it's dropped by Trey Madden. Incomplete. 54 seconds left in the half. Second and goal for the Trojans. And again, that play action where Sark as Idaho certainly respecting the run and biting. Those play action opportunities have been there.
Well, the thing in a game like this, you're ahead and you want to stay as much basic offense as you can, but you also are going to put tidbits out there. Remember, they've got games coming up against conference opponents now, so they got to put some stuff out that conference opponents have to watch out for.
Dancing in the backfield and a very short gain to bring up third down as Mark Millan on the tackle. Cedric Ware, and keep in mind, next week USC hosts Stanford, then they have Arizona State in a couple of weeks, so a very challenging part of the schedule looming for Steve Sarkisian and USC.
Yeah, of course, the Stanford game, because the fact that both Stanford and USC play Notre Dame, they have to play this conference game
USC.
early.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
30-second timeout. So 29 seconds left in the half. And stick around for game 4 of our quadruple header late tonight from Tempe, Arizona. It's Todd Graham trying to bounce back after a tough opening week loss to Texas A&M as they try to get back on track, hosting Cal Poly at Sun Devil Stadium tonight. Berkovici and company and DJ Foster taking on Cal Poly. Watch on Pac-12 Network, Pac-12 Now, or pac-12.com. It's JB Long and company. For Tempe, you'll have the nightcap from the desert tonight. USC looking for another score before the half. 35-3, the Trojans leading the Vandals. 3rd down and goal from the 6. Where is the running back? Kessler. And it's tipped at the line and it's incomplete. Ryan Edwards, the Southern California native, a little excited about getting back here. He's a Long Beach Poly guy, and he knocks it down to the line, 4th down.
One of the Jackrabbits gets a big paw up on it. That's what you do. If you're a D lineman and you're stoned at the line, which you was, what do? That ball starts coming out, get your hands up, build a picket fence. It was a great job by Edwards.
First career field goal try for Alex Wood, who's 5 of 5 on his extra points. This is a little bit more than an extra point. 24-yarder out of the hold of Connor Sullivan. And Alex Wood knocks it through. And it's now 38-3 Trojans, 22 seconds left here in the first half. So the junior from Mercer Island, Washington, the former walk-on, is now on scholarship with his first career field goal. And Sark and company rolling here at home against Idaho. Cody Kessler, speaking of rolling at home.
11-3 right here in the Coliseum. His percentage at 68% and 35 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. That's pretty incredible. And you look at those last 4 home games, 21-1. Efficient. That's why at the start of the year he's talked about the Heisman, because you look at what he did last year, how efficient he's been, how good he's been down the field as well. You know, he's got a lot of weapons, but you got to be the guy to deliver it correctly, and he's put himself in that conversation early.
Last year, 39 touchdowns for Cody Kessler, only 5 interceptions. And he had 7 300-yard games a year ago as Alex Wood with the boot. And a short kick that bounces sideways and goes out of bounds. And this will bring the ball out to the 35 for the Vandals with 22 seconds left in the half. And for Cody Kessler, he completed nearly 70% of his passes a year ago. And he's off to another impressive start here to this season.
The ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, Idaho.
And tonight, Kessler, despite just 1 touchdown pass, 18 of 23, 270 yards passing. And last week was 19 for 26, 4 touchdowns, no picks in the opener against Arkansas State, 236 yards through the year. He's already graduated last May, a degree in sociology, and now working on a master's in communication. From the Vandals 35, Luton stays at quarterback, and the give to Duckworth, rather Elijah Penny on the carry. Michael Hutchings, the junior from the Bay Area, with the tackle after a gain of 5. That should take us to the end of the first half. And Idaho does not get the snap off in time, but a dominant first half performance, Glenn, by USC, as they go to the locker room leading 38-3 over Idaho.
USC's done everything offensively and defensively that the coaches could want. Juju Smith-Schuster with big numbers, Trey Madden, as we've seen. Justin Davis, another one of those stable of running backs. We've seen even more of them. That offense has done a great job, and defensively they've done a great job.
38-3 Trojans. Jill Savage standing by with USC coach Steve Sarkisian.
Thanks so much, Roxy. Coach, over 430 yards of offense, 5 touchdowns in the first half. What more do you want to see out of these guys?
Well, we got a couple penalties by our young guys there. You know, it was a great learning lesson for Imam Marshall on blocking the guy out of bounds, which the young player has to learn. Marvell Tell turning around on the fade ball there, which gave him an opportunity to get the points on the board. And then I wish we would have finished that last drive. You know, we'd worked so well to get all the way down that we just didn't execute the way I would have liked.
What do you have to do in the second half to keep up the defensive intensity?
Well, we're going to play more people in the second half, and it's their opportunity, and the key is for them to apply the things we've been working on all week, which we touched on before the ball game. So, that's what I'm going to be looking at. Are we applying the things that we worked on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday throughout practice?
Thanks so much for your time.
All right, thanks, Jill.
Roxy?
All right, Jill, there's always stuff for coaches to nitpick and look forward to as Steve Sarkisian and USC have this one well in hand. 38-3, the Trojans leading Idaho at the half. as a dominant first half performance by the Trojans. Well, let's recap what we saw in the first half. A lot from USC as Juju Smith-Schuster, a huge first half, career best in receptions and yards. As USC 38 points here at the half. Justin Davis, his first action of 2015, a couple of touchdown runs.
What you saw was USC, hey, we're bigger, we're faster, we match up better, let's go out and prove it, get it done fast, get some young guys in, let's show our depth, let's get out of here. Too many times, and you know, it's a good thing that you're playing at evening because you see teams stick around. You see these games get too tough sometimes, as evidenced by, say, Jacksonville State and Auburn. You don't want that. You want to get it done. That's what USC has done.
Well, USC is certainly efficient in the first half, along with Glenn Parker. Roxy Bernstein with you from the LA Coliseum, getting ready for the start of the second half, where Steve Sarkisian's team averaged almost 10 yards per play in the first half. And by the way, the music under those highlights, we hinted this earlier with Leon McQuay III. That was some of his beats that he gave us to use there.
Oh, yeah. You know, I was rolling down PCH in my whip. Things were just thumping along.
Because that's how you roll, right?
Well, I'm so street, you know me.
But Leon McQuay III?
I just Googled all those terms, so I had something to say.
You did not. You've got them flowing in your vocabulary. Bill Savage with us as well on the sidelines. It's USC kicking off to Idaho to start the second half. A touchback, it'll come out to the 25 for the Vandals, but Cody Kessler in the first half, 18 of 23, and here is his touchdown pass.
Well, here's a connection you're going to see a lot. I mean, this is things. Darius Rogers comes up, goes under, and just look at Juju. He's looking back. He knows I'm the guy, and I'm open. This was a play action. Kessler is going to throw it exactly where it has to be to allow Juju Smith to keep running with that ball. You know, there's space there. Put it out for him. He does so. I think we're going to see a lot of that. Those guys had that. They were looking. They were eyeing each other up. The rest of the year, that's going to be a connection that's going to be seen a lot by Trojan fans.
Idaho with the football. And it's Matt Linehan back in at quarterback as we saw him and Jake Luton in the first half. Linehan 5 of 11, 57 yards through the air for the sophomore. Again, Idaho playing without their leading receiver, Desmond Epps, who is in uniform but will not play tonight. For Paul Petrino and the Vandals, a short gain on first down to Kalen Hightower.
You like what they did there. Come out, get themselves 6 yards. You can play at a 2nd and 4. There's Epps right there. Not going to play today.
Former JC All-American, and disappointing for him that he's not playing today because of an off-the-field issue. Here's the give on second down. And it's close to a first down. Elijah Penny barrels into the line. It appears to be about a half a yard shy as Delvon Simmons with the tackle. Idaho in the first half, 114 yards of total offense. Just 29, though, on the ground.
Well, as I said, they came out and there was too many missed passes, too many try to quick runs, outrun people. You're not going to do that against SC. You got to try to run as vertically as you can. You got to throw the ball to you guys out of the backfield, short, crisp throws, get a little space. You're not going to beat a USC. You're not going to compete with a USC trying to hit home runs when you're Idaho. The only way you get the ball moving is little chunks at a time, and then something bigger will break for you.
First down, Vandals from their own 35 as they did convert on 3rd and short. Aaron Duckworth, the running back. And Linehan from the gun fires at a quick hit out across the 40-yard line. Jacob Sannon with the catch for Idaho, a gain of 6.
Quick slant, come outside, get yourself 6 yards, just like they did the last first down. You wonder if they lost sight of that somewhere or just simply were overwhelmed with the speed of USC so fast. But this is what they wanted to accomplish at the start of the game.
Here's the handoff, and it's Aaron Duckworth into USC territory. And a nice run for the sophomore from Orange Park, Florida, Chris Hawkins with the tackle, and it's a first down for the Vandals.
What you love about this is watch this last cut. Back inside. He knows he's not going to outspeed him, so cut back inside for those 3-4 extra yards. That's smart running right there by Duckworth.
On first down, again it's the give to Duckworth. Spins down to the 42, a pickup of 5. Scott Felix on the tackle for USC, the junior. So a nice drive for Paul Petrino and the Vandals. A field goal from Austin Rico in the first half for their only points is Linehan a bit too high, and Chris Hawkins with a big hit. And the pass intended for Aaron Duckworth. It brings up third down for Idaho is Hawkins, whose half-brother Armand is a defensive back, a safety for this Idaho team.
Well, they wish they had that one back. He was open, but Hawkins does a good job leading with his shoulder and not following through. Don't get yourself a penalty. That was smart football right there by Chris Hawkins.
Matt Linehan of the Vandals, third down from the SC 42. Isaiah Saunders now in at running back. Under pressure, Linehan rolling out, throws, caught by Dion Watson, first down Idaho. As it appeared, Linehan was running for his life from 3 USC rushers and was able to get that throw off and had a little mustard on that pass out to the sideline.
Well, they lose contain. Linehan does a nice job finding the one guy and getting rid of it. He could have run, but he liked what he saw. He's not a runner. Now they're moving the chains.
Greg Townsend Jr. applying the pressure. First down Vandals from the SC 34. Saunders stays in at running back. Linehan steps up. He'll run. Short gain. Scott Felix along with Delvon Simmons there for USC. Gain of a yard, second down and 9. And Linehan, a football family. His brother is on this team. We highlighted in the first half his dad, Scott, former Idaho quarterback. He played under both Dennis Erickson and Keith Gilbertson. Both have Pac-12 ties. And they were coaching Idaho. A nice spin move by Jacob Sannon. And a first down for Idaho. And Linehan, whose dad was a head coach in the NFL, is the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, and I'm sure he's watching us right now as he gets ready for his season opener against the Giants.
Yeah, he's probably, well, if he's not in team meetings right now, he's watching. Always try to find time to watch your son, I'm sure.
He may have the app on his phone, watching it during meetings.
His head coach, maybe my favorite teammate of all time. Jason Garrett was a backup quarterback for the Giants when I was there. Just a great human being.
Pass to Jacob Sannon. Another gain of 5 for Idaho to bring up second and 5. A nice drive by Linehan of this Idaho offense.
You know, they're doing what we said at the start of the game. Short passes, crisp. Don't try to outspeed people. They've done a nice job on this drive.
12th play of the drive. And fighting his way down to the 10 is Aaron Duckworth to bring up third down and 1 for the Vandals. Scott Felix on the tackle.
And even more importantly, get something on first down. They've done that in this drive. Nice run here. Duckworth, once again, trying to get outside. Doesn't have much. Takes a pretty good pop right there from Anthony Cerro, but they put themselves in a great spot. Third and short. You can take a shot at the end zone right here and go for it on fourth, depending on how comfortable you feel.
Third and 1. Linehan under center. Play action. Deep drop, Linehan. Penalty marker is down. And cutting out to the left side and into the end zone is Buck Cowan. If it stands, touchdown Idaho, but there is a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
The fact they didn't blow it dead tells us it's probably against Idaho in some sort of formation.
Offside, defense, number 8. That penalty is declined. Ruling on the field is a touchdown.
So I didn't see anybody jump, so I wonder if they lined up in the neutral zone. They did a great job. We used to call this the oh no screen. That's where you get everybody running one way. And, oh no, you fall down, you miss your block. Oh no, and out goes your tight end, your fullback, or whoever back across that formation.
Touchdown pass from Lenahan to Buck Cowan, the junior from Camas, Washington, the former receiver who has moved to tight end. And the extra point, Rico, it's blocked. And the ball squirts into the end zone where Anthony Cerro jumps on top of it. So the extra point from Rico was blocked. Claude Pallone was the USC defensive lineman with the block on the extra point. 38-9 Trojans, but Idaho gets into the end zone. Paul Petrino's offense into the end zone. Pac-12 football presented by Tire Pros. 38-9, number 8 USC leading the Idaho Vandals as they go 13 plays, 75 yards, use up nearly 5.5 minutes, and I don't think I'm going out on a limb, Glenn, by saying that was Idaho's best drive of the day.
No doubt about it. Efficient. That's what they set out. That's what we talked on the phone with them. When we talked with the coaches, they set out to do those things. And that was, when you look at a game plan for them and what was going to work for them, that was it. They just hadn't been able to get it done. Some minor tweaks. You talk about halftime adjustments, if there were any made. Whatever it was, they came out and they were able to do what they needed to do.
Extra point was blocked. Now Austin Rico with the kickoff and a deep kick. This will go through the back of the end zone. It'll come out to the 25 for the Trojans. We'll have a chance. Let's go down to the sidelines and a Jill. Penalty markers down, by the way, on that kickoff. But here's Jill.
Thank you so much, Roxy. It is the 45th anniversary to the day USC played Alabama and won, by the way. I'm joined with Sam Cunningham and part of the first all-African-American backfield. Do you think that at that moment you understood the significance of what that moment meant?
That night I didn't, because it was my very first football game, and I wasn't a starter, so it wasn't the very first African-American backfield. Charlie Evans was the fullback. I was second-string fullback. My motivation was to play well so that I get a chance to play the next Saturday, and obviously I did, and the rest is history, and that team changed college football history forever.
45 years later now, looking back on it, do you think these kids out here understand the significance?
No, I don't think they understand because it's been so many years, and they don't really have to understand. They just know they have the opportunity to go wherever and play for whoever they want to play for. And yeah, there's always pioneers and stuff that do that. Now, when they talk to us and people on that team or people who know about it, then they get a better understanding of what it was and how things were 20, 45 years, 50 years ago. So, for them, it's just going to play football and compete, and not paying attention to the history of the game, which they will when they get older.
What do you take away from that game?
I take away, go play as hard as you can, compete as hard as you can, because the results of what you do can sometimes be historic. And that's what happened that evening. Did I know going into that game that was going to happen? No, but I knew I was going to try to play as well as I could in order to get a chance to play as well as I could the next week. And because of that history, I'm a part of it.
Now bringing it into present day, there are 3 true freshman running backs out there. What do you think of their game?
Their game's probably way better than our game when I was a freshman. So, what the coaches and here at this university have recruited are very talented guys, and they come in, they play like they have veteran experience, Now, granted, it's just Arkansas State and Idaho. When they get against somebody that's a little tougher, we'll see how that works out. But it bodes well for our future as a program, and I'm just happy to see them play.
Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, Sam.
Thank you very much, Joe.
And Roxy, it was a 42-21 final USC over Alabama. And Sam was telling me before the interview, hey, we're going to need all that for when we play Alabama next year.
Well, they're hoping they get a shot at the Crimson Tide maybe this season. As another pass from Kessler and USC marching down the field, and he was selling himself short. Glenn, Sam Cunningham was a great football player.
He was being very modest, particularly about the effect on college football. Let's face it, if you're a fan of college football, if you consider yourself a fan or someone who likes the game, unless you're a caveman living in a cave or you've been living on an island in Polynesia, you should know who Sam Cunningham was, and you do know that.
Open into the end zone. Touchdown USC, Isaac Whitney. From Cody Kessler, his second touchdown pass of the night. Blown coverage as Whitney was wide open into the end zone.
That was an explosive drive. That was every play, taking it to them and shutting the door. All right, they scored on us. We're going to come back. Let's get it done.
Cody Kessler, 6 of 6 on the drive. All passes on that 6-play drive. And a 28-yard touchdown pass, and Alex Wood nails the extra point, but Isaac Whitney, Glenn, wide open.
Too much speed, too much talent across the board, and that's an answer. That's an exclamation point for the Trojans.
Cody Kessler on your right, hooking up with Isaac Whitney on your left. 45-9, number 8 USC leading Idaho, a 6-play, 87-yard drive as Kessler goes 6 of 6 on the drive. And he's now at 357 yards passing, 24 of 29, and 2 touchdown passes tonight, and a brilliant performance here by Cody Kessler.
I can't really think of other than one, maybe a throw behind the line that he kind of threw away, where he hasn't been right on with every throw.
And a return shy of the 20-yard line for Idaho. And Elijah Penny.
Hey, if you're Idaho, swing the hammer. You're hitting a big rock. Just keep swinging like you did the last drive. See if you can put it together again.
Nice drive by Matt Lenahan of the Vandals, and they found the end zone on a pass to Buck Cowan on the last drive. This drive for the Vandals will begin at their own 18-yard line.
I look for SC maybe to play a little tighter coverage, come up, press a little bit, challenge them at the line of scrimmage. Don't lay off so much. Don't let them get those easy 5-6 yard throws on first down.
Sophomore Lenahan and the handoff. And spinning across the 20 is Elijah Penny out to the 22, a pickup of 4. Cameron Smith, freshman from Roseville near Sacramento, on the tackle. And yesterday, Justin Wilcox, their great defensive coordinator, Glenn, was just raving about Cameron Smith, saying he's been producing since day one, since he showed up on campus last January. Lenahan, it's complete to Deion Watson, first down Idaho. And again, Smith on the tackle.
That's a great throw by Lenahan. Threw to a small space between 3 defenders, long distance. That's the type of throw you love seeing your quarterback make if you're Idaho. He didn't make those the first quarter.
There's Kessler with Max Brown, his backup, getting loose. And maybe we'll see Brown at some point in the near future. The comfortable lead for Sark and USC. Lenahan to hand off and drop behind the line. Porter Gustin, the freshman, shot into the backfield with the tackle for loss.
There's that want to, that suddenness that Coach Wilcox, Coach Sarkisian told us about. Here he comes, your pass rusher, your linebacker. We need you to explode. We need you to just commit and get after it. Don't question. Don't think. Well, he showed it a couple times today. One on a pressure and that one right there.
Loss of 5. It brings up 2nd and 15 for Idaho. Two receivers to the left side as that'll go to Deion Watson on the wide receiver screen, and Watson picks his way out to midfield. Jonathan Lockett with the tackle, but a first down gain for Idaho.
Hey, their guard, Dallas Sandberg, downfield, Stephen Matlock, the center downfield, here they come. Take a look for 61 and 55 with big blocks. There was 55, there's 61 throwing his body around. You run a tunnel screen, you got to get those guys out. It's not easy. That was well designed, well executed by Idaho.
Lenahan, open, first down Vandals. Jacob Sannon with a pickup of 19 to the USC 31. He took a shot at the end of that play.
Yeah, Lenahan gets this one out, follows all the way through. You love that, takes a big hit. Bounces right back up. It's easy to bounce up when you make that throw and you get the completion.
Idaho had just 3 plays of 10 or more yards in the first half as Jacob Sannon gets spun around by Chris Hawkins, short gain. They already have 6 plays of 10 or more yards here in the second half.
It's amazing what can happen if you get a little rhythm and you get the defense on their heels. It's easy to play defense 3 and 10. But when it's 3rd and 1, when it's 2nd and 4, your playbook's a lot bigger.
A little confidence also for Paul Petrino and his team.
No doubt about it.
They were a bit shell-shocked to start this game. Linehan over the middle, and it's broken up by Chris Hawkins. Tried to squeeze that one into Jacob Sannon. 3rd down. Third down 8 from the Trojans 29. In all likelihood, they're in 4-down territory with 5:11 left in the 3rd. Play clock inside 10 for Linehan.
Pay attention to the running back out of the backfield.
And it's Deion Watson. Watson close to a 1st down, appears to be a yard short. Cameron Smith on the tackle.
Great job by Watson breaking a tackle and staying on his feet to get those extra yards. They run the back out of the backfield to drag one of the backers away from this tunnel screen. He makes the guy miss. He gets some good blocking up out there by his wide receiver. It's a nice job by Watson staying alive and making this a makeable 4th down.
4th and 1. Plenty of time on the clock for Linehan. Here's the handoff. Elijah Penning into the line. It's close. It appears to be short.
Yeah, they marked his forward progress short even though he kept his feet. I don't know if they got enough push there.
And Paul Petrino not happy with something. And they say 1st down USC. So turnover on downs. And USC forces the turnover. 45-9 Trojans. USC leads Idaho. Pac-12 football presented by Tire Pros. 3rd quarter at the LA Coliseum. And Cody Kessler continues at quarterback for the Trojans. Already 357 yards passing tonight, a couple of touchdowns. After a turnover on downs, USC with the ball at their own 23. In motion is Jaleel Pinner. And a handoff through the line. Ronald Jones out near midfield.
You got a lead by Pinner, and your guard, Max Turk, is going to pull. You've got lead coming, and watch his pull. That seals. There's your lane. Watch as he takes advantage of this lane to get himself into the 2nd level. And now it's just speed. Tell you what, Ronald Jones. He's got such a burst to get through that initial phase. He's a threat every time he touches it.
24 yards the run by Jones, and now that goes out to Darius Rogers for USC into Idaho territory. Another USC 1st down. 27 1st downs now for the Trojans.
And telling is how often you're seeing the safeties and DBs make tackles. So often, it's your linebackers that lead in tackling. Right now, it's the 3rd level on their defense making the tackle.
Play action going deep. Touchdown, Juju Smith-Schuster. His 2nd tonight, Kessler's 3rd, and he was wide open.
That's the effect of a good, powerful running game. Offensive line looks Hollywood. They sell it. Your backside safety bites up. That leaves Juju Smith-Schuster running into an open area between the hash marks. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch. Excitement for the Trojans fans, huh?
A lot to cheer about tonight at the Coliseum. 41 yards from Kessler, who's now over 400 yards passing tonight. Juju Smith-Schuster, 10 catches, 192 yards, and now his 2nd touchdown.
Juju Smith-Schuster, just a little stutter and get into that space. It's too easy for the Trojans.
Well, Cody Kessler, a career high 410 yards passing, and he's hitting it at every level tonight, Glenn.
Yeah, and telling, obviously, there's the backfield and the short passes, but telling right here, compared to where he was last week, this week, very efficient, 3 touchdowns. Play action pass is a big part of that. Getting guys running into the secondary. Of course, they're expanding the playbook. They want to get more going each week for him to make it tougher on their conference opponents down the road.
And Idaho will take a knee. It'll come out to the 25 for the Vandals, down 52-9 here toward the late stage of the third quarter. Let's send it down to Jill.
Hey, Roxy. Well, Cody Kessler was saying about Juju as a freshman. He showed up. He was pretty quiet. Just wanted to be a good football player. But after last season ended, even before spring ball, Cody said that Juju would text him once a day seeing if he could throw. And Kessler was like, hey, that's my job. I'm the quarterback here. But he says that Juju is one of those guys that runs the route 100%, even if he knows he's not getting the ball. And Cody told him that he can never lose that. That as a quarterback, that is exactly what you want to see out of your wide receivers. And Juju getting the payday tonight.
Jill, whatever they're doing, it's working because that combination is lethal for USC. Linehan going deep, and it's incomplete. Trying to get that one to Kalen Hightower. And second down for the Vandals and Matt Linehan. Paul Petrino and numerous stops along the way as an assistant. Utah State, Idaho, Louisville, Southern Miss, Arkansas with his brother, Illinois, also in the NFL with Atlanta. He inherited a tough situation.
No doubt about it.
Year 3, and he's trying to build this program. Plus, they're competing in a conference where they travel the second most in college football as far as miles go.
Well, when you say Sun, I think Idaho. It's Sun Belt Conference.
Sun Belt,
I'm thinking Idaho. Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially Northwest Idaho, yeah. They are in the Sun Belt Conference as Aaron Duckworth on the carry to bring up third down.
You know, they're just, unfortunately, they're a victim of all the realignment and the way the whole landscape is nowadays in college football.
Hawaii travels the furthest distance miles-wise in college football. Idaho second, and they've bounced around. They've been an independent since they've moved up from what was the 1AA, now the championship subdivision. On third down, Linehan fires it in there. And it's caught, first down Vandals. And getting up and hobbling a little bit, but hanging on is Jacob Sannon, first down Idaho, and that bullet from Linehan.
It was a nice delivery, stepping through, putting it on point. Get your clock. You know, this is about getting confidence in your offense now, getting confidence in your team, moving forward down your schedule.
Next week they'll play the Wofford Terriers at the Kibbie Dome in Moscow. Linehan on the rollout, and it's Deion Watson with the catch. Brought down shy of a first down by Adoree Jackson, and so they moved up from the championship subdivision, or 1AA. They've been in the Sun Belt, went to the Big West, which is now defunct for football. The WAC. Then they went independent and are now back in the Sun Belt. You want to talk about hopping and skipping and jumping all over the place. That's what this Idaho program has had to do.
And unfortunately, that's how you get into a position where you haven't been to a bowl game, you haven't won a lot of games. If kids and recruits can't identify you, can't identify who you are and where you play, it's going to be tough to get them there.
There's a ball that Elijah Perry gets across the marker for a first down. Elijah Penny with the first down run. Minute and a half to go in this third quarter, and they've lost 22 consecutive road games. Idaho tied for the second longest streak in college football with Kentucky. And the longest road losing streak, that Division I Bowl subdivision, belongs to the Kansas Jayhawks. They have lost 30 consecutive road games. There's a whistle, and Idaho takes time.
Timeout. Idaho. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So the second timeout used by Paul Petrino and the Vandals. That leaves them with one. Time now for the Red Vines. Sweet moments.
Juju Smith-Schuster, bottom of your screen. Cody Kessler, a little play action. Offensive line selling it. Safeties are looking in the backfield. They're not disciplined. Smith-Schuster's got the speed to catch up to a well-thrown ball. That's your Red Vine sweet moment.
Smith-Schuster, career highs in both catches and yards, and 2 touchdowns tonight. Cody Kessler, a career high and 410 yards passing, and he has the headset on, which leads me to believe we're going to see Max Brown at quarterback the next offensive series for the Trojans.
I thought you were going to say he was listening to Leon McQuay's beats.
He might be. Yeah, he might have it slipped in there into his headset. 1st and 10 for the Vandals, 47. Lenahan under center, play action. Off his back foot, penalty marker is down, it's incomplete. And Lenahan took a shot at the end of the play. And he is up and trying to shake out the cobwebs there after he was hit on the play by Claude Pallone.
This one's going to be a hold, I have a feeling.
Holding, offense, number 61, 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
They get the center, Stephen Matlock. And did you have something you wanted to say about Matlock?
No, I got my Andy Griffith reference in already. So the hold on Matlock pushes him back.
Lenahan got a little gimp, a little hitch in his giddy up there. Being hit so many times.
Now, Glenn, this is a program that had success when they were competing at the lower level in the 80s and 90s, went to the playoffs 11 times, and they're part of the Big Sky Conference. As the handoff goes to Elijah Penny, and you talk about some great names in Pac-12 ties as far as their coaches go in the past. Dennis Erickson twice was the head coach at Idaho. Keith Gilbertson, who coached at both Cal and Washington, and Nick Holt, a former USC defensive coordinator, was the head coach of Idaho. John L. Smith, the all-time wins leader in Idaho history, 53. And then Jason Gesser, former Cougars quarterback, was the interim head coach in 2012, and Rob Akey was fired. He's now the radio analyst for Washington State. He was a terrific quarterback for the Cougars. 2nd and 16. As Lenahan gets it to Kalen Hightower. It'll bring up 3rd down. Final 10 seconds of the quarter. Claude Pallone there for USC. That will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. 52-9 USC, and we gave you some earlier. Here is more from Leon McQuay III, who's all smiles. The Trojans all smiles tonight at the Coliseum. We start the 4th at the Coliseum in LA. Pac-12 football presented by Tire Pros, along with Glenn Parker and Jill Savage. Roxy Bernstein with you. Number 8, USC 52, Idaho 9, as they lit the Olympic torch at the Coliseum. 4th quarter. And Idaho with the ball, facing a 3rd and long at their own 44. Lenahan over the middle, incomplete. Trying to get that one to Jonte Boston, the freshman from Jacksonville. It's incomplete. 4th down Idaho. And you want to talk about consistency for USC, Glenn? They have scored at least 2 touchdowns in each of the first 7 quarters of the season. This is their aim.
Yeah, they've been explosive and consistent. But, you know, when you look at this game, what Idaho wanted to get done. So they came in here and they didn't get anything they wanted done the first half. That 3rd quarter, they limited USC to 2 possessions. That's what they needed to do in the 1st quarter. That's how you stay in games. They did it. They can take solace in that fact, but in reality, they needed that to start, not in the 3rd quarter.
Another return for USC. It's Stephen Mitchell Jr. He's brought down near the 15-yard line. It's Cody Kessler tonight. Another 300-yard game. In fact, a career-best 410 yards, and here are the numbers on him in those 300-yard games in his career.
And that's when you look at in his first starts, you know, 0 300-yard games, 16 touchdowns. Look at the last 16 starts. 10 times he's thrown for 300 yards, and he's got 50 touchdowns. That's the career path you want from your quarterback. That's how guys get to that award so many people want to talk about.
And as we expected, his night is done. Max Brown, the sophomore from Sammamish, Washington, takes over at quarterback. And his first pass attempt to Jalen Green. And he's out near the marker, should have enough lunging for the 1st down.
How about Jalen Green there? After he gets thrown on the ground and he reaches out, what's his first thing to do? He looks to the sideline, make sure he got that first. This game's 52-9. And his head's still in the game where it needs to be.
He wants playing time.
Absolutely.
And that's what Sark told us How does this team stay focused? How do they stay competitive in a game where they're blowing out an opponent last week like Arkansas State and Idaho tonight? Well, the playing time, and they want more of it. Well, the only way to get more playing time is to play hard when you're given the opportunity, regardless of what point of the game you're in.
That's right. And what's the best way to get performance? Competition. So you want to compete for playing time. You want good performance. You've got to put those things together.
Max Brown. And he throws it wide of Isaac Whitney. And it's a third down for USC. But Brown, 6'5", 220, tall quarterback. Played in 6 games last year in limited action. And coming out of high school at Skyline High School up near Seattle, he was the Gatorade National High School Player of the Year. 3 of 5 last week, 66 yards against Arkansas State. Now 3rd and 9 for the Trojans. Still to come tonight here on Pac-12 Networks, our finale, Arizona State, as the Sun Devils hosting Cal Poly. Brown under pressure, penalty marker is down, the pass complete to Christian Tober. And they're going to say now, shy of the first down.
Holding offense number 70, 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Holding on USC. Well, we have a moment. Let's check in with Mike Yam in the Pac-12 Network studios. Mike? All right, Yammer, Chris Alvarado into punt after the penalty was declined by Idaho and the pass well short of a first down. Jordan Freisinger back to return the punt of Alvarado as Idaho comes after it. They don't get it. And a wobbly kick, Freisinger calling for a fair catch. And decent field position for Idaho. The Vandals going back to work on offense, but Tommy Trojan, USC, have it all clicking tonight in LA. Cody Kessler going big. Juju Smith-Schuster, 50 yards. Touchdown, touchdown. Second score for Justin Davis. Trey Madden dances his way into the end zone. Second rushing touchdown tonight.
That's too much beef on the move for Idaho to stop. Too much speed, too much talent across the board. That's an exclamation point for the Trojans.
Dominant performance from number 8 USC tonight, looking to go to 2-0 as they lead the Idaho Vandals 52-9, 13:23 to play. And Idaho with the ball at their own 33-yard line. Jake Luton goes back into the ball game for Paul Petrino and the Vandals at quarterback. Luton to the outside. And out around the 40-yard line. Jay-Sean Jordan. I take it back. Calvary Pugh getting some time at running back. As number 4, they're double numbers for Idaho.
Calvary. That's a great first name.
Calvary is coming.
I'd like to see him get on his horse, huh?
There he is. And he spins out of a Kevon Seymour tackle, and he holds out of the football as the Trojans were trying to strip it. And Pugh gets the first down.
I like it. Idaho's fighting. They're not giving up. That's, you know, let's face it, that's what Coach Petrino wants to see, right? He wants to see that these guys got some toughness and passion to them. That's where they're going to win games in conference.
Here's the handoff. And out near midfield for Idaho is Isaiah Saunders, the redshirt freshman from Elk Grove. Here's Sacramento. 4 yards in that carry. Second down, 6 for Idaho. Jake Luton got some time in the first half. Play action. Swings it out to Jonte Boston, who's hit and dropped. No gain.
Marvell Tell out there. Great job in open space. Not over pursuing. Coming up, breaking down, making a nice tackle.
3rd and 7, a loss of a yard for the Vandals. Back to the Idaho 48. .40 and counting to play, and USC will host Stanford at 5 next Saturday here at the Coliseum. Stanford just kicking off with Central Florida on the farm tonight. Luton on 3rd down. Incomplete. Tried to squeeze that one into Kareem Coles, who is a quarterback. Well, Paul Petrino said, you know what, we're going to put him out there receiver. He's going to get some time at receiver this week. And planning for the absence of Desmond Epps, top receiver. And it's 4th down for Idaho, and Rico back out to punt. Christian Tober, the return man for the Trojans. High snap, but time for Rico to get it off, and he sends it end over end. Penalty marker is down as this one skips into the end zone. And we'll check the flag. Usually it's on the return team, and most likely against USC here in the area that it was thrown. So our referee tonight, Mark Duddy and his crew. USC did a good job with the penalties last week already. 5 tonight against the Trojans, just 3 last week.
That's what you want from your team. Discipline, particularly in games where you can get a little out of control.
The result of the play is a touchback. During the kick, holding, receiving team, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
So it's on USC, a hold on that return, but a USC football. 11:14 to go as Max Brown of the offense will go back out for Steve Sarkisian.
Mike Yam inside our Pac-12 Network studios, and kickoff just moments away at Arizona State. Those of you watching on Pac-12 Arizona will be leaving momentarily to see the start of Cal Poly at ASU. Now, Pac-12 Arizona viewers can continue watching Idaho at SC by going to Pac-12 Network or logging into Pac-12 Now or pac-12.com. For all remaining viewers, we'll be bringing you to the Arizona State game immediately following the conclusion of SC.
From the USC 10, Soma Vainuku. Fullback in motion. Here is Davis on the carry. And he weaves his way out to the 18. And you know, this is a nice problem to have if you're Steve Sarkisian, Glenn. Look at the wealth that he has at running back.
Yeah, and the thing you really like is you've got some age there with your senior and junior, but then you've got 3 young guys who are going to compete. They're all going to compete for that spot, and they want that next spot. The problem he has is, can he get them all enough touches where they feel satisfied?
That's the problem that Steve Sarkisian has to deal with. As Dominic Davis spinning, wrestled, close to a 1st down. Might be a yard shy. There is Trey Madden and Justin Davis. Justin Davis, 2 rushing touchdowns. He didn't play last week, but had an impact early in this game tonight for Justin Davis. 2 touchdowns on 5 carries and 74 yards. 1st and 10 Trojans from the 20. Dominic Davis with a big hole. Out to the 25.
If you're USC now, you've got a lot of young linemen. Your second guys are in. Only got, I believe, 1 starter still in there, or 1 semi-starter. Nico Fala's in there. Chris Brown. Khalil Rogers is now in. Chuma Adoga's in. Hey, we're going to run the ball. Guys, we need to run the ball. We're going to eat some of this clock. They know we're going to run it. Can you guys get it done?
Brown on play action rollout toward the outside. That's a 1st down to David Melstrom. So Melstrom the catch. And the senior with a 1st down for the Trojans.
So you show us 5 running backs with all those yards. They come out. They run the ball 3 straight times. There's that play action. Boom. Now you can move the chains. Now go back. All right. Now just how much do they want to show? How much do they want to put on? That's the question now.
Now you're almost trying to get in the heads of Stanford and their defensive coordinator, Lance Anderson, just to plant seeds for next week.
I think there's always some of that going on as far as what you show in every phase of your game. What do you show in your return game? What do we hide? What do we make them work towards? Maybe we have something we don't intend to use at all, but hey, let's make them waste some practice time on that one.
Short gain for Ronald Jones II. DJ Hampton on the tackle. Another big weekend for the conference. Nice road win for Mike Leach and Washington State after a tough opening week last week, Glenn. They go cross country and get a win at Rutgers in comeback fashion and score late to win it.
Yeah, great response by the Cougs and the ability to, as you said, suffer that loss at home and then go all the way across country and beat a Big Ten team they got a little bit of history with. That was a really good win for the Cougars.
Kevin Shelton, the pressure that time on Max Brown, as Shelton, the younger brother of Danny Shelton, who was an all Pac-12 performer for the Huskies last year and now with the Cleveland Browns. 3rd and 9 for USC. And Arizona, we had the Wildcats, Glenn, last Thursday night in Tucson with a pedestrian performance against UTSA. It was a win. I knew Solomon threw 4 touchdowns, but they had a terrific performance on the road in Reno tonight in handling Nevada.
Yeah, they did a good job across the board. Go to a tough place to play against a team that has a really good system in place, that wins a lot of games, that can kind of sneak up on you, and they went and took care of business, did it handily. That's what you're looking for in that second game. Tucson Wildcat fans, they can be pretty happy with that performance, I'm sure.
Deontay Burnett with the catch. First down, SC in Idaho territory. Still have just under 8:20 to play. Give to Ronald Jones, the second big hole. Jones to the outside. There's the speed of Ronald Jones. He's down just shy of the goal line at the 1.
They might look at this. I'm not sure he went down. They're going to say he hit his knee, I guess, or the ball. But let's take a look. Here's that home run speed we talked about. One cut. Now another. Good vision. First the cut to get through, then the vision. Let's see if he goes down. I think that's a touchdown. Let's see. Does a knee get to the ground? I don't think so.
I'm with you, Glenn.
That's
it doesn't appear that knee hit.
They'll look at this. They'll get the young man his score.
And if that is a touchdown, but as of now, the officials are not stopping it. It's 1st and goal. And Sark wants time. He's racing off the sideline to get timeout. So as of now, it's a 43-yard run to the 1-yard line.
The challenge, the ruling on the field. The ruling on the field is
does
the runner
not
was
touch.
down for a first down. This play is now under review.
So the play is under review, and if that is a touchdown, we may need a hashtag 12best on that one.
Oh, it's right there. With the explosion there, I'm with you.
So it's a USC challenge. This is not an official called review. This is a USC challenge, and USC asked the officiating crew and the video replay officials to take another look.
Yeah, and I understand what the officials saw over there. Now it's got to be conclusive. Did he touch or not?
And even if he did, that ball might have been over the goal line anyways.
Quite possibly. But you have to understand, where the refs are on this. And that one looked kind of close, like it might have touched.
If you want to watch Cal Poly, the Mustangs against the Arizona State Sun Devils, it's available now on Pac-12 Arizona, Pac-12 Now, and pac-12.com. Cal Poly and Arizona State, the home opener for the Sun Devils. Sark trying to get in a word with us maybe right there. So it is in a USC challenge for review here, and even if it's not a touchdown, it's 1st and goal USC at the 1. But a terrific run by the freshman from McKinney, Texas, and the high school district track champion Ronald Jones II was a Prep All-American last year, ran for over 2,000 yards and 29 touchdowns in McKinney North. That seems like an ongoing problem for USC. Is the depth of running back and how do you get all these carries? And okay, for 3 years while the probation was here, maybe it wasn't as much of an issue. You go back to the Pete Carroll days. How do you divide the carries? How do you get everybody involved?
You recruit kids that want to be the best. The kids that will stick around want to be the best.
The ruling on the field of the runner being down at the 1-yard line stands. USC is charged to timeout. Also, USC loses its challenge for the remainder of the game.
So the call stands. It was not confirmed.
That's
it
right.
stands.
They don't believe there was enough proof to say his knee didn't hit. We saw it from a few angles it looks conclusive that it didn't hit. But then you see when you're like, maybe that hit right there. You're not quite sure.
First and goal at the 1. Jones is the running back, and he crashes through the line into the end zone, and he deserves the touchdown after a long run to the 1-yard line. Ronald Jones, the second, who got his first career touchdown last week against Arkansas State, and that's now 5 rushing touchdowns for USC. One-yard run for Jones. Alex Wood for the extra point. And he knocks another one through. It's 59-9 USC over Idaho.
USC taking care of business inside the Coliseum, but you are looking at the Tommy Trojan statue located at the heart of campus. It's an iconic symbol of USC, modeled after former football players. Inscribed on the bronze statue are the qualities of the ideal Trojan: faithful, scholarly, skillful, courageous, and ambitious. Roxy, I'd say that would describe this team pretty well.
Yeah, Jill, it sums up their performance tonight. They have been dominant against Idaho as USC with 27 plays tonight of 10 or more yards, Glenn.
Just huge chunks all night long.
This is a touchback. It'll come out to the 25. And while we have a moment, let's go to San Francisco for an update with Mike Yam.
Well, Roxy, just a reminder, we're going to get you to the Cal Poly at ASU game immediately after the SC game ends. You can begin watching Cal Poly and Arizona State on Pac-12 Arizona, Pac-12 Now, or pac-12.com.
Still have 7:28 to go here at the Coliseum as Jake Luton and a quarterback for the Vandals. Just a performance from USC tonight, all facets of the game, just clicking. And on the move, Luton finds his fullback and Jake Manley out across the 30-yard line. And, you know, to be at the top of your game every week, it's not easy. And Arkansas State is a team that many people feel could win the Sun Belt. And USC just throttled Arkansas State last week. And with Stanford looming and ASU the week after that, Glenn, you think, all right, maybe USC could have a little bit of a letdown, maybe not going to be totally locked in and focused. We have seen absolutely none of that from USC tonight. From the outset, they have been dialed in with just a tremendous performance.
Yeah, good. That speaks to the coaching staff. They got these guys ready to play, and they did that by almost, like Coach Stark said, almost like going back to training camp after that game against Arkansas State. It's hot, it's nasty, they had to refocus their energies, and by instilling that feeling of competition across the board. That way you ensure yourself you're going to have players playing at their very best.
A first down carry for a loss. And Elijah Penny brought down, the senior from down here. He's from Lakewood.
Wrapped up at number 59, Don Hill, and number 37, Matt Holtz.
Second down for Idaho. And for the Trojans, again, an early season showdown with Stanford. They won it last year on the farm in a tight defensive struggle. And hosting Stanford here at the Coliseum next week. 5 o'clock kick. Deep drop for Jake Luton. He airs it out. Looking for Kalen Hightower, incomplete. And that'll be third down for Idaho. And coming up after Cal Poly and Arizona State, I think a few of those guys are going to be featured. The Pac-12 final score, Mike Yam, Nigel Burton, Lincoln Kennedy as they wrap up today's action. Pac-12 final score tonight on Pac-12 Network, or watch Pac-12 Now or pac-12.com. So how about Lincoln? So Lincoln does the game in Seattle today. and comes back into the studio to do final score.
That's a good gig. Good for him.
It's a busy Saturday for Lincoln Kent. 3rd down, 11. Luton hit as he throws, and it's incomplete for Isaiah Saunders. The pressure right in the face of the redshirt freshman quarterback. 4th down for the Vandals. We'll see what Paul Petrino elects to do. He sends Austin Rico back out there. And this will be the 8th punt for Rico today.
You know, the Vandals put up 300 yards of offense. There was a day when 300 yards of offense was considered a good day. In the modern era of prolific passing and spread offenses.
The problem is USC is over 700 yards of total offense tonight. Christian Tober dropped immediately. Good coverage by the Vandals. USC 5:36 to go. Look at the freeway here in LA. What's it been like for USC, just flying by all night. Reminder, Cal Poly ASU coming up after we're done here at the LA Coliseum. If you want to find it now, go to Pac-12 Arizona, Pac-12 Now, or pac-12.com.
The beautiful
opener for the Sun Devils.
Fauna right there.
What is that?
Desert fauna, you know, plants.
Well, you live down there, so you know how to break that down. In fact, you'll be there next Friday night.
Very excited to watch Sun Devils take on the Lobos from New Mexico. Should be a good game. Coach Bob Davie at New Mexico has got that team running the ball extremely well.
The quarterback for USC as the handoff out across the 30-yard line as we're getting down into the USC depth chart now. James Tolan the 4th on the carry, and that's Connor Sullivan, who is the holder, also former baseball player here at USC, and he fumbles the snap, picks it up, and he goes down. In the backfield, Sullivan, junior from Orange. And now Sullivan goes out as Brown comes back in. Maybe they're big DeMarcus Cousins fans over there. The Sacramento Kings logo from the sideline. There it is, see, calling out plays.
All right.
Here's the handoff, and Tolan bring up 3rd down for USC. And that's always interesting when they hold up those big cards on the sideline, always the different logos. And that was just one logo that was up there. A lot of times you get them split into quadrants, and you'll get 4 logos up there. That's just the one. See now, oh yeah, the Clippers, but then you got the Titans coming up. Now, which one are we looking at? What's the play here? What do you think?
It depends. You know what it is. It's they know which one's hot, which one's not. We go to that one.
And it's the run with Tolan. It's Brown the handoff. Now to bring a 4th down for USC. James Tolan the carry. Coaches always find ways to have fun with that stuff on the sideline. No more just those old hand signals. You get all the big cards, and somebody's got to order those and have those made.
You got to come up with something.
That's a job. That's a big ordeal.
But you got to come up with something that means something too, that the kids remember based on the meaning. And you know, I go back to when I was playing with the Bills. We were the no huddle team.
Right.
We had our entire offense at one point kind of installed.
The K gun, right?
The K gun. But we had all of our calls just based on. We just had words for them, and they had to kind of mean something. And whether that was our line calls or our play calls, they had to have something that meant something.
Your second charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
USC a timeout before the punt. While they take time, we'll check in with Mike Gamm in our studios. So when we go to San Francisco, somebody could just hold up like a car to the Transamerica building there before. That could signal me that we're going to Mike Yam or maybe the Bay Bridge or the Golden Gate Bridge.
No, for Yammer it'd be different. It'd be somebody's hair.
There's the punt and a fair catch taken by Jordan Freisinger for Idaho. And the Vandals get the football back. And let's check in with Jill on the sideline.
Roxy, we all know that Bo Jackson could do it all. Bo knows. Well, Adoree Jackson not only shares the same last name, but his Twitter handle is Adoree Knows. Adoree is three-way player on the field, but he's also an All-American long jumper, and oh yeah, a pretty fast sprinter as well. And you know, his teammates, we were asking him, what don't they know about you? And he was saying, you know, it's really my affinity for cooking. But then in fall camp, he goes and does this. Jackson told us that they were missing field goals in practice, and Sark called him over, and Jackson thought he was in trouble, actually, but instead, Sark told Adoree to kick it, and he said he had to tell me 3 times before he actually believed it. Now, Adoree was on the 30-yard line, so he can kick a 40-yard field goal. Is there anything this guy can't do?
He was channeling his inner Chad Johnson, or Ocho Cinco right there. Remember when he wanted to be the kicker for the Bengals? And he played soccer growing up, so a little bit of a soccer background for him.
Sure. Did look like he toe punched it, though. Did look like a soccer kick.
That's a first down pass for Idaho. And okay, so Adoree on the left, and the aforementioned Mike Yam at the Utah training camp on the right.
Not bad. I think, you know, the thing was, though, look at his hair. It was outstanding.
Did it move?
That is the question.
Trouble with the snap and jumping on it is Jake Luton for Idaho. There is Adoree Jackson. Matt Linehan actually back in a quarterback. There's Adoree. Adoree's got some good hair going, too.
He does. See, I talk about hair a lot. I'm a little jealous of it all. Adoree Jackson talked about cooking. That was an interesting.
Yeah.
His affinity for the culinary arts getting in there, and most of his friends don't know that he can do it because he's afraid he'd have to cook for them all.
So what fried rice, he told us, was his specialty. That's dropped, incomplete from Linehan. Trying to get that to Ruben Muella. And 3rd and 14 for the Vandals inside the final 2 minutes of this ball game.
And we talked about the third quarter for the Vandals and how well they did. You know, they came out and were able to get 130-something yards of offense. Since then, though, Trojans shut them down. Haven't let them get anything this quarter.
3rd down for Linehan. Here comes pressure. Hit as he throws, and it's too high, incomplete. Had to quickly get rid of it. Pass for Kareem Coles, incomplete. Osa Messina came barreling in at the quarterback, Linehan.
Yeah, it's a straight go by Messina. And he does a nice job letting up and not taking Linehan down. He was there before the ball left. Could have really delivered a pop and didn't. That's smart football being played. That's what you want from your young guys. Messina, true freshman.
Christian Tober, the return man, after a nice punt from Rico. Tober lets it bounce. It goes out of bounds. And USC takes over with 1:39 to play. And here's what's looming for the Trojans. Stanford next week. Then they're at ASU. And boy, what a challenging road that USC has. Still games. They have to go to Notre Dame. They have to go to Cal. They host Utah. Arizona comes here, and then they finish with games at Oregon, then cross town, the rivalry with UCLA.
You know, it becomes a weekly norm for us in the Pac-12. When you start looking at schedules, like, well, there's a 5-game stretch that's a killer, and they get this weekend kind of off, and then there's 3 more tough. Everybody's got that schedule now.
There's no week off. There just aren't in this conference.
You're going to play. You're going to be tested, and the fact that they play Notre Dame as well is tough. It's a tough thing, but it's a great rivalry. Maybe one of the better rivalries, if not the best, in all of college football.
And the ball carrier that time, Stephon Smith. And there's a look at the crosstown team. Josh Rosen, UCLA. They're playing UNLV tonight for the Pac-12 Player of the Week. How about that for your debut? 351 yards and 3 touchdowns for the freshman last week.
Yeah, huge. You know, that's their big rival right across town, as you said, and Rosen. You know, this guy, he was everything as advertised for the Bruins. Came out, you know, they kept it easy at first, but they opened up the playbook for him. He delivered. He was crisp. Kid's the real deal.
Injury for Idaho down there on the field is Garrett Jackson getting looked at, and already Josh Rosen, a touchdown pass tonight. They're in Vegas tonight, UCLA, taking on UNLV. They lead that 10-0. But you look around the conference today, Arizona, that big win in Reno. Cal with a nice win against San Diego State, Jared Goff, another 300-yard game.
Yeah, the Cougars of Washington State going to Rutgers, winning.
Nice big win for Mike McIntyre and the Buffs as they steamroll UMass in Boulder today.
Yeah, ran for just a ton of yards, got after UMass, and Washington gets a very comprehensive win against Sacramento State.
The freshman Jake Browning. Quarterback Stanford in action tonight. Oregon right now a close one in East Lansing with Michigan State. As carry for a first down for USC. And Devon Smith moves the chains for the Trojans. Reminder coming up after Cal Poly and ASU. Pac-12 final score. Mike Yam, Nigel Burton, Lincoln Kennedy. As they wrap up today's action, Pac-12 final score tonight on Pac-12 Network, or watch Pac-12 now or pac-12.com. This could be the final play from scrimmage tonight. And a complete effort by the USC Trojans. And here's the handoff, Stephon Smith. That may do it. And the final 15 seconds, but a terrific performance, Glenn. USC was clicking, offense, defense, special teams. They did it all tonight as they just steamrolled Idaho.
They started the game the way they wanted to. They came out, they were efficient, they bullied them around the field. All the stars got involved. A great win and a great across-board. They came out healthy. Good stuff for the Trojans.
And after they gave up 5 sacks last week, none tonight. Over 700 yards of total offense. So USC with a convincing win over Idaho. Number 8 USC 59, Idaho 9. For Glenn Parker, Jill Savage, Roxy Bernstein saying so long from LA. Now let's take you to Tempe, Cal Poly, and Arizona State.